And welcome to another show. A physician who grew up in a dysfunctional family, facing many ego shadows and consisting of self limiting beliefs. And furthermore, he survived two near death experiences, resulting in deep spiritual dives that resulted in his awakened consciousness. Now, you may ask, Mark, is this another NDE book? No. The answer is definitely no, but it's exciting, and I want you to stay with me on this. As a tribute to his grandchildren, he wishes to share with young parents the lessons that he learned so that they bring up children devoid of ego-laden burdens that will cause suffering for the children later in life. All right, this is a first, ladies and gentlemen. It's exclusive, which I don't get to have too often. The very first time he's gone public, and I'm referring to Jorge Francis Cassir, medical doctor, author, and a coach. He grew up in Colombia, South America, graduated from medical school back in 1969, and he attended the Universidad de Valle, Cali, Colombia. And he did his postgraduate training in radiation oncology at Memorial Sloan-Kettering Cancer Center, York Avenue in New York. The big one, Sloan-Kettering. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to Nothing Like a Good Book, Jorge Cassir. Welcome, George.
Thank you, Mark.
It's a real pleasure to have you. We're going to get into the book in a minute, but you retired recently after 40 years of taking care of cancer patients treated with radiation. What are the most memorable memoirs that you take away from those years?
Those years as a medical oncologist, as a radiation oncologist, taking care of cancer patients for over 40 years, my dedication to loving what I was doing. And now I am changing course.
Well, you grew up in a dysfunctional family that broke up after your father was unable to give up his gambling addiction, correct?
Yes, absolutely. My mother had warned him that she was reluctant to accept that the financial future of the family was on a gambling table.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few years, she walked out on him and took my sister and myself along with her. I grew up with many fears and self-limiting beliefs, and 10 years after the separation, which happened to coincide with my eighth birthday,
Mm-hmm.
he took his life 10 years after.
Well, it's sad, I know. You share that at age 12, you had the inkling that the most significant contribution of your life, in fact, to humankind, was going to occur late in life. Do you feel that you have accomplished that, or is it yet to come, George?
I am well on the way to accomplishing this. My purpose in doing this mission of love is the dedication that I feel as a healer, not on the body aspect, but to heal families
Mm-hmm.
with my work and sharing them with people all throughout the world. And I have engaged my daughter and her two children to join me in a transgenerational education of the families to come.
Yes, and
So that
that's what the book is going to be about, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen. It gets into, he had a calling from his heart to continue as a healer, but not of bodies, but of families. In other words, I want to teach young prospective parents of today to prepare for parenthood by being what he calls conscious parents who conceive conscious children. Well, what the heck does that mean? That means who are happy, loving, imaginative, and confident, and who know how to create the family and the lives of their dreams. Wow. Now, your book, to be released very soon, was co-authored by your daughter, Jackie Cassir. I think it's Mays. Mays. Mhm.
Yes.
And was written to honor your 4 grandchildren, and they're what, age 5 to 12, and to honor
Uh,
all the future children of the world. So, what is the book's title, George?
Intentional conception, how to bond with your child before conception and stay connected forever.
Now, it's going to be published this fall. We're doing this in September. This will be around for a long time, so it'll be past that date. But it's called
Uh,
Intentional Conception, How to Bond with Your Child Before Conception, and How to Stay Connected Forever. Now, in a nutshell, George, what does all that mean?
this means, the title means to use your focus attention to change yourself as a parent before the conception of your child so that you can cleanse your ego, limiting beliefs and fears before the conception of the child. And then consider the conception of your child not as a mere physical enjoyment, which is very pleasurable, but as an act of creation
Mm-hmm.
that will act as the bullhorn to motivate you to reach out of the bottom of your heart.
All
And
right. Now, the name of the book is called Intentional Conception, How to Bond with Your Child Before Conception, but to stay connected forever. So, it's depths. It's in deep, isn't it? I mean, you're saying that before, and now I take it this is one within marriage, but before, you consummate any sexual doing, how does one's minds, or how do you gel the minds to do what you're, suggesting that potential parents should do? This is what the book is about. Okay.
okay,
Try and explain to me and to my listeners, if you would, how does one do this?
by preparing to change yourself and the way you operate and accept the fact that there are two questions that need to be answered. Who am I and where do I come from before I landed on this planet Earth? Where and how do I arrive in the world at this point in time
Mm-hmm.
of my life?
I think everybody is asking that one at the moment, or one time or later, in our lives. We want to know that. How does one figure that out? I mean, who do you feel is your target audience here?
My target audience are people that, like myself, grew up in broken families uh, because they face a 50% chance if a single parent of a dysfunctional family has of repeating the same experiences of the past,
All right.
except that at this time
Mm-hmm.
the victims will be their own children.
All right. So the target is really, well, it doesn't have to be that young, but I mean, the majority, I guess, of the combinations and marriages are going to be young. But the reality is, you would like people to read this book before they consummate, study the book, and there's a very good chance there won't be a dysfunctional or a 50% one parent only upbringing in that particular family. How does this book teach prospective parents then?
This teaches a program that I created that is a step-wide and comprehensive program of transformation. But the parents to be should make up their minds that they're going to do everything in their power to be the best mirrors for the child, which has not been born.
Okay, so George, why is it essential that prospective parents have a clear understanding how they relate to the world?
Because it has to do all with the resistance. Without the world to inhabit, they would not be here. We would, all of us, not be here.
Hmm. Well, following that, why is it important that prospective parents have a clear idea of how they relate to the universe.
The universe is the one that created all of us, and the planet Earth was born at the time of creation. If you begin to know the Bible, or at the time of the Big Bang.
Well, boy, why is it important then that prospective parents have a clear understanding of whom they are at a deeper level? How do people go about this? I mean, some are into religion, some aren't. There are many different religions. People say they're man-made religions, but there was a Big Bang. There is maybe a God that is one God over all. But what about now they're talking about other planets, other beings perhaps, other forms of life? I mean, now you also say to parents, what should you know about the quantum field? And why is it important that young children should be taught about it? I mean, that's an interesting one.
That is the answer to that, because it's radically important that we empower all of us to believe that we are children of the universe.
All right. Well, they often say we're only 6 degrees of separation, but we're all related one way or another. We all come from the one stock, and we all should love each other and be brother. I mean, the site, ladies and gentlemen, the site is intentional conception, all one word, one sentence, I should say, intentionalconception.com. www.intentionalconception.com. The book is just about to come out. It's going to be interesting, but there's a lot of training in this, a lot of reading in it, which I think it'll be a bit easier. George, your English is pretty good, but it would be difficult to listen for 2.5 hours trying to make sure. So the reading is going to be critical. Your website is critical. And I think, with statements like intentional conception, the co-creation of child with the universe, do you expect to get the usual, the woo-woo signs with this, Jorge?
No, I'm determined to change the path of this empowerment that exists with the division between spirituality and our physicality. Mm-hmm. According to Einstein's formula, the universe is a universe of energy, and that energy is all that exists. And the E equals the energy of the universe, of universes. M stands for the mass of the universe, which is made up of energy or low vibrational frequency. Mm-hmm. And C to a square is made out of light, which is the love and the emotions that we feel when we express compassion, kindness, and love for each other. Let me explain something to you. The reason why it's so special to introspect in silence is because meditation opens up the communication with your soul. The soul is the spirit or God in all of us. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we have the seeds of the universe or God planted within each one of us. Mm-hmm. And we make 100 trillion cells. That's a lot of Marks and a lot of Georges and a lot of Marys, or whatever your name is.
So let me ask you this. What does co-create the family and the lives of your dreams mean?
That as you create your baby, you can create the family, then your vision, and the lives of the dreams. Each individual individuals on the world
Hmm.
has that capacity, and that is where I come from, some empowerment.
Well, George, it's sort of like, to me, it touches on, there are some women that are adamant about birth at home versus hospitals. There are others that are adamant about birth in warm water, at home versus hospitals. And, throughout many, many thousands of years, I couldn't imagine the way women have had, children brought into this world, different physical ways that they've had to go through to do it. But when you touch on this, the name of the book is Intentional Conception. You're going to be teaching in the book how to do it, right? The book is going to explain what Tom and Mary need to do to be able to do what you're professing about, correct?
Okay, correct.
And that will
If
be
there is the intention of the parents to change, this book is not going to be changing any lives if the parents have not the conviction to change.
I see. All
And
right.
that's why I feel that is integral
Mm-hmm.
to the
That's integral for it to work.
existence of humanity, of each one of us to accept that we are a part of the same energy of creation, or the same oneness
Mm-hmm.
that field of energy represents.
Well, intention of parents to change. Yeah.
Yes.
I wish they'd have changed a few of those ISIS babies, I tell you, and a couple of the others. But you see, man made religion. Never mind. The name of the book is Intentional Conception: How to Bond with Your Child Before Conception and Stay Connected Forever. And that can be found at this website, www.intentionalconception.com. And George, in closing, are there other materials there as well on that site to be able to
Yes,
peruse
I have
through?
been releasing courses as we move on
Mm-hmm.
with the publication of my message. And stay tuned for new articles, new books, new writings, and they can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
or in Twitter.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is put up those addresses, those social media addresses for you on your landing page there on this particular story on my site, markbishopmedia.com, and people will be able to go to that. So there's books and teaching courses, materials, all sorts of stuff. Fascinating stuff, Jorge Cassir. All the best with the sales. And, speaking of which, where will I be able to purchase the book, George?
It will be available through Amazon.
Amazon? Of course. What a dumb
Am-
question. Yes. All right, my friend. I wish you sell many. I understand where you're coming from. It's a beautiful concept. It's a beautiful idea. And
we have
Einstein wasn't silly, was he?
we have no choice but to change ourselves.
Yeah. Otherwise, where
If,
are we going to end up?
if we want to empower every human being, and I believe that we should look at each one of us as the face of God or in the universal intelligence,
Yes.
because that way we can be 1 trillion strong, 100 trillion strong, in which we consider every cell in our body part of the same thing. That is the oneness in our own life that we are experiencing. And the universe is the oneness of all that exists.
Thank you, George. Jorge Cassir, ladies and gentlemen, MD, author, writer, teacher. The book is, you've heard it first right here. It's an exclusive. So I think the book's fascinating, to be honest. I think there's going to be some very good teachings in that. intentionalconception.com. And there's all sorts of
That
things on the website as well, so you can have a read.
is the book that I wish I had available 45 years ago.
Yes.
I was thinking of having children. I would been a far superior parent
Right.
with less motivation than is usual.
Right. 45 years ago, it might have helped, huh? And boy, they talk about split up families and one parent families this day and age, and God knows what else. Thank you, George. In wrapping up, I wish you all the best. It'll be on Amazon,
Thank you.
Amazon.com, and I wish you all the luck in the world with this book. And I know it means more to you about changing our disposition in life and where we're all at more than the money does. But yeah, good job, and thank you for all the good work you've done and the support you've given to people over the years. And this
Thank you.
is and good luck with it. Welcome, George. George Cassir, ladies and gentlemen. Look out for it. It's called intentionalconception.com. All right,
Thank you.
is the name of the website, and go to that. Bye bye, mate. Bye bye.
Bye bye.